You know what? That is so true. I mean, I agree with the lady that was on. I remember being in seventh grade. Yeah, I remember being in seventh grade, and I had a friend. We was like 12 years old, and she would come to school telling me about. It was a couple, and I swear the stories they would say it was like 30-some-year-old couples like who had been like madly in love. I mean, like on cruise ships and having exquisite dinners. I mean, she was 12 years old. And I'm like, I was the kind of kid I learned from other people's mistakes. Obviously, I was not having sex at that time. I didn't even have sex as a teenager. I'm proud of myself for that. It still jolts me. It still shocks me to death when I hear of teenagers having sex. I don't care. Even 19, that's just not, because you have to be able to be responsible for the consequences. You have to know that if you're going to have sex, that means that you're doing something that adults do. That is not a rite of passage to have sex. It's not a rite of passage into adulthood, first of all. If a teenager have sex and they cannot be accountable for their actions, they are not ready to have sex. And I knew that when I was a teenager, and I did not do it. I learned from my classmates. I swear they was going at it, and it was kind of like it wasn't even enticing. It was just interesting to hear a young girl and a young boy talking. They was both telling me stuff in my ear. I mean, the most popular kids at school, most attractive, and they telling me all their love stories and stuff. I'm like, wow, what? And now I can see why, because 1 in 4 of every American teenagers have STD. So they have to know how the accountability part plays in to the whole thing. That's why parents tell their kids. They should tell them don't do it until they're at least 21 or married. At least you're legally an adult. 18 is not really legal because, it's just not. But 21, you're an adult. You can be somewhat accountable. You can drive a car. You can have sex. I mean, if you get the logic there, the concept. Okay, if you don't even get it, if it don't make sense, or if it just fly by you, you even at 21, you shouldn't be doing it. Seriously, I don't agree. Like, if I have a kid, my kid better not be having no sex as a teenager. I'm sorry. It's so many more things to develop your personality other than sex. There's so many other ways to connect with other people in your age group or to connect with the world. That's just one very minor way of doing it, and teenagers see it as a way out or a way, but that's not the way. It's just a way, and it's a very cheap, irresponsible, unaccountable way to connect. That's not the way to connect. Connect through a book. Connect through using your brain. Connect through stimulating conversation. Connect through doing community work. Connect through tutoring a child. Connect through volunteering. You'll get the most reward from that instead of sex. It's cheating yourself because you're not developed enough mentally or emotionally to give that part of yourself away because it's not developed yet. That's what people don't know.